people that Malzahar is going to walk up to are generally not going to be people that you want to ult. I mean, yeah, you can make a case for the Lee Sin that you pick out the Lee Sin and it'd be great, but ideally you're never going to really find an ult on the Xerath or the Jhin, and then you're not going to want to ult the Ornn and the Maokai. So what is it? Just the wave clear that they're looking for the Malzahar?
Yeah, I could agree with that. Yeah, I think if Faji's able to match the wave clear and kill the minions at the same time, he can actually outpush the Malzahar as well and get priority. So yeah, the mouse pick doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's just another comfort pick. I would have liked to see them just full on commit for the engage and just go Diana, but it's
that little bit of backline access that we were talking about.
Yeah, and it's just like Diana offers you like the less telegraphed engage. Like you just blink on, not blink, but your dash is so quick that you can just ult. You don't even need to land your Q. You just pull them in for your teammates, and then follow up CC comes in from Thresh and Renekton. But that's a little bit unreliable. At least it's more unreliable than just wave clearing with mouse. But at the same time, you gotta think about the matchup. So it's like, are you really gonna out wave clear Xerath? Maybe.
Yeah, no, that could possibly
maybe
be the case.
I think it's just a coin flip, yeah.
But I mean, the Diana doesn't really fall off with wave clear either. She has a decent bit of wave clear, especially with the passive and whatnot. But I do agree that the Diana would have been a much easier pick because you also have the Shen too.
Yeah.
So like post 6, I mean, you go in for a team fight, the Shen will be able to follow you up right there, so you're not necessarily gonna die very quickly. So you'll still be able to do whatever it is that you need to do, and then you have a lot of the follow-up damage.
I believe this is gonna be Lolly Hentai Police's
Lee Sin,
and he's very experienced on that champion. Like he can get them snowballing early. They're gonna have Ornn items to rely on into the late game. Xerath's gonna have the Rabadon's Death Doodle, and Jin's gonna have the Infinity Spear.
That's true. That's true. So
I'm just making up names, but
we're always talking about early game versus mid game. Who do you think has the scale right now?
Honestly, I'd say PMAA. I just because of how it's gonna accelerate. Like, yes, CC gets the mouse. Like they have a nice level 6 spike, but I believe Lee Sin will delay them to that point, and then eventually PMAA is gonna get to the late game, where if they just stall out the game and don't hit enough in the mid game, if they hit those Ornn items, each one of those is gonna close any gold gap they had or spike it. Like it would just spike it even further if they had one already. So it's gonna be very hard for CC unless but they are on comfort champ. So if they had a comp to do it with, like that is early game, like this is the perfect one for them. And although Malzahar doesn't have the best matchup in Xerath, it's a very easy champ. It doesn't, you can still survive against it.
Yeah.
So it's just wiggle a little bit, dodge a Q, make him Q, not the wave. Like you're okay. There's ways to outplay it. Like your silence does work well against him if you space well. So it's.
But my big thing is that the W is so easy to hit. I mean, you don't even have to hit like the very middle part of it to, take down Malzahar passive. So that lane's just going to be very, very. It's gonna be an oof. And especially early for Malzahar, in my opinion. But we've been talking about mid a lot, and how it's a lack of a Diana. So let's go ahead and let's move down to the bottom lane. You have the Jinx Thresh versus the Maokai Jhin. So you have the hyper carry in the Jinx, so if you want to go late, you have that scaling option, but it's also into a Maokai Jhin. You have Ali on the Thresh that's able to make the picks if the Maokai doesn't get tanky. I don't know. I don't really know from here.
It's very much on gank setup coming from Thresh and Jinx. Like if they want to make anything happen, they just have to have their wards in the right spot and Lantern and the Shen, and they can win a 3v2. If they bait the Maokai in, because if Maokai W's in, he has no way out. So as long as they're able to survive that initial engage from him, they can just flay him in, hook him. He's nowhere to go. He gets taunted. It's always going to be a kill if they have a number advantage down there and they can bait and engage. But other than that, that's a very tough lane for them because Maokai's just going to toss saplings into the bush on repeat. Jin's going to W them on that and have easier time wave clearing with his Q.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit. Depends. Jin or Jinx has a pretty decent wave clear with Thresh because Thresh can just flay the wave or walk up in auto, and Jinx has just
two
constant.
fishbone rockets.
Yeah, just auto attack speed and in the rockets if she wants them. But it's gonna be interesting because if they try to push too fast, like Maokai can just engage and then Lee Sin shows up behind them.
Yeah, that's why I kind of like the Maokai pick here because unlike it's guaranteed CC. You know, it's the fact that like you have the ultimate that can disengage or engage too. You have both options, which is really utility based. But if you have that go button, if your Lee Sin is calling, hey, we need to get onto the Jinx, or in a team fight, hey, we need to get on the Malzahar for whatever reason, that's guaranteed. That's a point and click CC, and that's something that can really turn the tide of a team fight if CC isn't expecting it.
Yeah.
But they have to communicate it though. It's very hard to execute.
Yeah, I think CC's best bet is to play around top side, honestly, and just let bot side play the weak side until they're able to get Shen to that level 6. If they can facilitate Shen to an easy level 6 or Renekton snowballing, like their 2v2 top side is going to be stronger than the Lee Sin Ornn, I'm assuming, because Renekton's normally a counter pick into Ornn.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've seen it as a counter pick into Ornn before, in pro play at least. A lot of people are comfortable picking Renekton right into it, but it's like obviously if you're comfortable on that Renekton, it's a very devastating champ. The empowered W can shred through shields.
Yeah, that is true. And then plus, I'm assuming we don't know as of right now, but I'm assuming that that Necro guy is also going to have press the attack, so you have that other bit of like true damage just funneling in.
Yeah.
I would think he would go that instead of the Conqueror, but I know Conqueror is still a pretty popular keystone on him.
Depends. I would still go Conqueror for him because PTA is better if you have like more of a damage jungler, I think. But I could be wrong on that, honestly.
Well, we'll see. So we're loading into the game. Loading into the game here. The people who are watching and not playing Clash, thank you for joining us. Bear, thank you for coming in and streaming, even though you could have played Clash and everything. We do appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. My Clash team is some part of them are in this, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, R.I.P. But in case we do have some viewers, I know we do. Go ahead and put in your predictions as to who you think will win this series. Well, I guess we'll talk about the game first. So, who do you have winning game 1 right here? Just off the bat prediction here, Bear.
I am gonna give it to, let's say, I like PMAA's comp better. I'm gonna give it to them, even though enemy team's got comfort. I think it's gonna be a little too hard to deal with the Lee Sin early game.
We'll pause at 10 seconds, by the way.
It's just gonna get them snowballing to the point where they need to, and they can stall out through mid game, be just fine, bouncing waves off the towers, and then, like I said, upgrade those items and the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm also gonna give it to PMAA here. It's just the team fight that they have already. Drafted Lolly Hentai Police is very good on the Lee Sin, no slouch whatsoever. But I mean, you also just have the constant damage raining down from the Jhin and the Xerath. That there's not a huge front line on the side of on the side of 11. CC. You're at 11. Okay, get to 12.
Okay.
All right. So 3. Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm also gonna give it to PMAA here. I just like the team comp. It seems like it's a lot more focused on the team fight. Then I know that's really weird to say, but yeah, CC just has a lot of pick. You have the pick in the Thresh. You also have the pick in the Malzahar. You have the Jinx that'll hyper carry, and then you have a little bit of the backline access with the Shen and the Renekton. If they can get beefy, I don't know what the win condition for CC is though. Like, what's the win condition? Get late and then
it's just team play. Very good team play throughout the mid game. Their mid game spike is huge. Like they have Channel. Thresh is a menace throughout the mid game. Malzahar will even like, yeah, even if they have bad targets to work with, like in the early mid game, everyone's squishy enough for it to work as long as you have numbers.
Gotcha.
So grouping throughout the mid game is going to be their strength. But like I said, if PMAA can create a lull state where they're just not doing anything if the enemy team groups and they're just sitting on towers and wave clearing, like there's not much the enemy team can do to dive them.
Gotcha. Well, it seems like we're gonna have pretty solid starts from both. Oh god.
The emote spam already begins. See, I usually have this muted already, but at least Riot limits it a little bit.
Yeah, so general starts from General Dill and Legend MK, both getting the blue buff. Gonna go ahead and work on getting to the level 3. So as we said before, so Conqueror actually taken by Necro Guy. I think he heard you a little bit there.
Yeah,
to try
it's
and
just
get
like the healing is hard to pass up. It just makes you like unkillable, which is what you want. Because if you die, you lose the waves. So it's like the PTA is kind of tempting sometimes, but it's damage-wise very similar to Conqueror, almost negligible, and then you don't get the healing. So it's always nice to have Conqueror.
Gotcha. So yeah, Sapling's already doing work here in the bot lane. However, they are gonna get level 2 first. Gonna look for the hook. Just shopping.
Yeah.
Shopping. See what was.
Like I said, I would probably opt for PTA if I had something maybe like a Kindred jungle or like something that's trying to run them down, and we wouldn't quite have the damage without it maybe. But at the same time, you're not really looking to kill Ornn. You're more looking to get priority against Ornn than use your priority to roam and at least get vision of the enemy jungle or roam mid.
Very true. But we see here already Legends MK looking for Fudgy Ditters. A nice done with the E is going to go ahead and take that gank out of the books for CC. He's going to be like, nope, you got to try a little bit harder than that. Sam Delio going in now on Necro Guy. Necro Guy having to slice and dice out.
Yeah. I would have liked to see Necro just continue that trade. He had a whole cannon wave right there. If he just fought Sam Delio after the flame was done. He was a little bit worried about the brittle auto, but I think he still wins the extended trade if he just continued it, but it's okay. He just got a little scared because he ate the entire W flame.
Yeah,
That's the Ornn being OP thing.
Mm-hmm.
But so is Renekton, so we'll see them both pop off, I assume, throughout this game.
Yeah, this definitely isn't. Yeah, these champs definitely don't wet nuke fight. Even if they go a little bit more on their tanky counterparts, like they still knock around for a lot of damage.
Sam Delio coming into the league just being an absolute smurf on like any he plays.
Yeah, no kidding.
Except for that. No one saw that. Yeah, as soon as I say it, caster curse, he just completely whiffs his knockup.
It's all good, man. Hey, it's finals jitters. Man.
Yeah.
Red Division Season 6 finals. You know, you essentially got airdropped into the team, so you know you gotta.
Yeah, here's what we talked about bot lane. The fishbone's coming out strong. Jake's just like auto shoving the wave in. Like not much you can do about it unless you try to engage on them. And Thresh is just being a menace from the bush, ready with his fillet, just ready to disengage anything that's going on. And they have a huge wave to sit in.
Yeah, as we see here, Legends MK actually doing a little jungling onto Loli Hentai Police's side, you know, with that shove in the bot lane. Very safe to go for that engage because he knows that his bot lane's going to be able to respond first.
Yeah,
Necro Guy fighting a pretty big wave, gets the knockup Sam Delio, but you know, it's not really going to do much there.
So he ended up
That's a
stealing the blue.
Huge hook hitting onto Violet Sister. I'm so sorry. Spooked. Oh, huge flame traps. Rob does look like he's going to go down. The flash heal coming from Sivan, it's not going to be enough.
That's those potions coming in handy. You gotta drink your potions. You got Jinx's flash for it. That's really good. So Maokai's just gonna naturally heal up and have the auto to bring him back to higher HP. So it's not so bad for them. They got the Jinx flash. Overall worth trade. They had a Brinjin heal too and Maokai flash, but I think that's not bad. And they get the freeze.
Yeah, especially early on in this lane. Not really gonna have any jungle pressure. Getting shoved in multiple waves, so you know you're pretty solid on that.
The thing about that freeze they just had bot lane, it's actually too close to the tower, so they would have to drag it up farther on the next wave, after their wave dies, they would have to drag it towards the bush to hold the freeze farther if they wanted to continue it. But
Oh my
I
god.
feel like they're just gonna push it out eventually. But
Yeah.
more scrapping up in the top lane.
Yeah, this whole lane's just a huge scrap fight. I mean, anything I can have that. Oh my god, the breath bellows are just so strong. Percent health is too strong on this champion, and Necro is getting bullied out of the wave.
Yeah,
It says you are not taking anything for
that champ is pretty impressive. If you go like Renekton's trying to get the Blade of the Rune King, I understand, but that means you have to bypass HP early, which means he can just waste his mana bar just ruining your HP by just spamming his W on you over and over. If you try to get close to him, he's gonna bop you with a brittle auto. So you either have to commit half your HP for the trade or just walk away and do what he's doing and wiggle.
Yeah. Shen is on the top side though, so Necro guy is a safe side. I say that as barely misses. However, is not going to be. He's not going to go
disconnect.
into the tower. Oh yeah,
PMAA pause.
Yeah, the pause is going to go ahead and come out. So
okay, we got a minute to talk about the game at least.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a CS lead in the top lane, 52-37, pretty substantial so far. We do see Sam Delio with that passive already being able to get the ninja tab by. So Necro guy is not going to be doing anything for a very, very long time.
And this is just what we're talking about that PMA wanted. They wanted this lull state game. They wanted this like not much happening early game. Maybe Lee Sin facilitating a few ganks here and there, but there's not much he can do besides gank bot when Shen's not there. And maybe cheese a mid gank, maybe top. Like it depends on the game state, but like there's very small windows for Lee Sin to do much. But at the same time, this is what their team comp wants. They just want a CS more. They have a CS lead in bot lane and top. They're down 10 CS in mid lane, but that's very manageable.
Yeah, that's pretty par for the course.
So that is something for CC to work around though. They're actually down XP if you look at it. Fudgy is down CS, but he's up XP. Probably just a better recall timing. He probably just stayed in lane with low HP to soak a wave, but didn't get the last hits.
It's true.
But it netted him more XP, probably maybe because Juice Me Daddy just walked over for this blue buff, so he's just missing some XP right now. So who knows? But we'll see. It's probably very close. It's probably not that. He's probably just about level 7, honestly, if he has more CS. So
that's true. So as we go further into this game, we have the dragon that's already spawned. Lee Sin is in the top side. So is Legends. Who do you think has the better priority right now on the dragon?
Right now I'd still say, it's gonna be easier for like CC to take it, but the problem is it's not like free. It's not free for them. Like if the enemy team rotates and contests it, they're still gonna get killed if they focus the dragon. Whoever focuses the fight usually wins. When everyone's even on items, it's like, even right now, like right now, the CC would win because they would have the BF sword from Jinx,
who sold the Doran's blade to get there, by the way.
Ooh, see, that would make it tough because if she gets chunked by the dragon or Xerath Q on the way, like while she's doing it because it's warded, not having Doran's blade makes it very awkward being around the side when you're on blue side, unless you're having a Thresh Lantern over the wall. But that means you don't have